What makes Call of Duty what it is? What is its identity? As someone whose first Call of Duty was World at War, I've been with this franchise for almost my entire life so far. I've seen its highest highs and lowest lows. I've played all the campaigns, all the multiplayers and all the extra modes. You could criticize older titles for many things, but one thing that was always false is that it was, quote, a generic soulless shooter. You could call them many things, but soulless is not one of them. So many memorable moments and characters we've experienced and grown to love. I doubt any fan worth their salt could say they don't remember the many adventures of the two casts, be it trying to stop a cunning, calculating, charismatic terrorist from starting a third world war, and when failing that, succeeding at stopping the war itself by the old captain's boldness and wit, as well as with the help of his trusty crew of ragtag professional worldwide operators that Task Force 141 consists of, as well as some friends in high places. Many sacrifices made, many friends lost, but at the end we get our revenge and the Russian Reaper is finally taken to the gallows by our brave captain. Who could forget the journey of two legendary Russians, Dmitry and Reznov, through the Second World War, from the ruins of Stalingrad, through the most brutal, immersive, serious campaign across Europe with atmosphere so dense you could cut it with a knife, to surrounding Berlin, taking the Reichstag and ending the Third Reich. Skip a few years later and you wake up in a room full of TVs showing numbers while you're strapped tightly in a chair in the boots of Mason, where you experience his memories, living through conspiracies and fighting your own mind control, as well as finishing a vendetta an old friend had against certain few men. Skip some more years later and see how the world changed, how tragedies happen, how Cordis Die rises up and Menendez changes the world forever, while young David does whatever he can to stop him while suffering the sins of the father. No amount of words can do these stories justice, and there is especially no point in describing the zombies story because we'd be here for hours on end. This series really was like no other. It had its own identity and soul, a place in my heart it carved out for itself. It couldn't keep that peak for long and there were many flops along the way, but it still had heart and that original something that I fell in love with since the good old days. Then came Warzone, the dreaded battle royale mode that usurped the game itself, becoming the main game while the actual Call of Duty title is simply relegated to what amounts to a DLC. Ever since 2019, all games have felt the same. They replaced the characters we knew and loved with caricatures of them that don't act anything like the old ones did. This entire reboot era of Call of Duty feels more like a parody of its peak, becoming exactly what everyone thought it always was, a soulless corporatized generic first-person shooter with the narrative and mechanical depth of a puddle. While older titles had some inherent wackiness to them, there was always a line that was never crossed. Not until the age of Warzone, when bundles became the main cash cow of the game. Be it Nicki Minaj, Cheech and Chong and many other examples my brain currently refuses to let me remember because it blocked out those memories as a fucking trauma response. It's quite obvious that Call of Duty is purely chasing the high that Fortnite managed to achieve, appealing to the lowest common denominator with their EOMM expertly crafted to give the advantage to whales that consume bundles at a faster rate than I manage to consume oxygen, as well as the worst players that will forever be lied to that they are better than they actually are, therefore never letting them improve. We were just fine for the past entire decade without engagement-based matchmaking, so it was never implemented for our benefit. Only to draw out more cash from their already scammed consumers, paying $70 for their trash pile of unoptimized, cheater-ridden unbalanced mess of, quote, full games, that are all more akin to overpriced DLCs to that year's version of Warzone than anything else. We will never get another game like World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 or Modern Warfare 2. Everything is so safe and boring. Even the characters themselves, the main thing that kept me in love with COD for so long, all are either absent from now on or replaced. No more Mason, no more Hudson, no more Esnoff or Woods, who has been relegated to a wheelchair Barbara Gordon role, no more Aretha Crew, no more missions like No Russian or Downfall, and even characters like Price, Ghost, Gaz are not the same characters I fell in love with back in 2010s. Each year Call of Duty strays further from what I loved about it, and each year one recognize less and less of it as the series I grew up with. What pisses me off especially is the latest statement of Treyarch, how they, quote, really care about the Black Ops identity this time. It's all a bunch of bullshit, as these people don't even understand what Black Ops even is. You need to do more than use the classified glitchy aesthetic Black Ops is known for and copy-paste a James Bond movie script over it. What is especially insufferable is how many people refuse to accept COD isn't COD anymore even though they fully realize that it's nothing but Activision's cash cow. Then again, these are the same people that refer to the cracked-out slide cancelling movement of modern CODs as quote, how classic CODs used to be. No? Have these people ever even played any COD game before 2019? With statements like these, I sincerely doubt it. Call of Duty today is a certified dumpster fire. I surely can't wait to blow another $70 on the next DLC adventure of skinwalkers pretending they are characters I once knew in an epic 2-hour campaign and a half-baked third mode. But hey, let's try to be positive. Look at the packet loss and server issues Modern Warfare 2019 Part 3 had. It's finally fixed and gone, along with half the player base. This game is neither realistic or a power fantasy, but a purgatory where everyone gets fucked. It truly feels like a Netflix adaptation of the originals. I'd rather we don't get a campaign at all if all we're getting is a 2-hour-long Marvel wannabe knockoff with more fluff than Build-A-Bear with lazy mini open world missions where you run to few objectives, hold F and shoot an odd chromie homie deficient AI or hop into multiplayer where a dude huffed up on Colombian nose candy slide cancels behind me at a speed of light and proceed to give me flaming buckshot backshots and it ain't even June anymore. It's safe to say I'm pretty disillusioned with modern COD and have lost faith in it ever coming even close to its former glory ever again.